Will come to order the special open meeting of the Board of Directors of United Laguna Woods Mutual, a California nonprofit mutual benefit corporation.
President
It's
Liberatore.
Thursday, October 28th, and it's 3 o'clock according to the clock in the back of the room. Okay, and the purpose of this meeting...
Mr. Bastoni, your phone is on. Your microphone is on.
Mute them, will you? Mute them.
Okay.
The purpose of this meeting is to appoint one GRF United delegate, terms ending in 2024, to be seated at the GRF annual meeting on November 10th in accordance with Civil Code 5110. All right, and before we get started, Azar, you can email your vote directly to Grant. All right, so I call the meeting to order, and the purpose of the meeting I've just stated. Now, for the directors here, look over your agenda, and if you have any problems with it.
I move the agenda.
All right, we have a motion to move. We have a second to approve the agenda. The agenda. See no objections. The agenda is approved by acclamation. Introduction of the United GRF candidates. Former Director Elsie Addington, 2121Q, Juanita Skillman, 2154N, and Don Tibbetts, 2022B. Item number 5, candidate opening statements. Each candidate will be given 2 minutes to give an opening statement.
Can we move up there, or do we have to do it here?
Well, can we do it at the...
President Liberatore, we can have the candidates sit on the dais if you would like. It might be easier for giving their comments.
Sure. Who's first? We ready? According to the papers I have here, Elsie Addington is first. Elsie, you have the floor.
Thank you, President Liberatore. My name's Elsie Addington. I'm not going to give a lot of personal background because I've been here a long time. The Laguna Woods Village activities I'm involved in generally are the garden plot, the Ocean Club, Robert's Rules of Order. I was a director of United Laguna Woods Mutual for 3 years, and I'm the co-chair currently of Clubhouse for Disaster Preparedness Program.
My dear Shiban, I just texted Rand, but I haven't heard anything.
Excuse me.
Please don't interrupt. Elsie Addington has the floor.
Getting the meeting all set up.
You're taking away from her time. Not fair. Go ahead, Elsie. Mute Azar.
I better just move along. Okay, during the 3 years as United Director, I tried as hard as I could to meet the needs of my clients and the needs of the institution and find solutions that work for the balanced good of all. Excuse me. As I was the chair of the Architectural Controls and Standards Committee and later chair of the Governing Documents Committee, I had many opportunities to hear from both the resident community and from staff regarding various interpretations of the rules governing various topics, and in some cases affecting changes as appropriate. I worked closely with Community Services for 3 years, both as a reviewer of resale packages and sometime consultant on issues such as California community property laws. I'm skipping the Government Documents Committee during my tenure, especially with streamlining documentation requirements and the updating of United governing documents affected by California AB 3182. I also did resident orientations, and in 2021, I did all of them up until I was no longer a director. I was at various times also active on the United Finance, Communication, Landscape, M&C, and Member Hearings Committee. I served on the Handyman Ad Hoc Committee for its duration. On GRF, I served on community activities, media and communication, mobility and vehicles, and traffic hearings, and was part of the team which rewrote the GRF bylaws. I have been, oops, I'm out.
Time out. Thank you. Thank you, Elsie Addington. Now we want to hear from Juanita Skillman.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. My decision to run, skip the knob. Thank you. My decision to run for the GRF board is based on my experience and participation in GRF and other board activities. I have served on all of the GRF committees at some time during my tenure on the United Board, and I continue to attend all the meetings virtually. I can currently serve as a member advisor on the Media and Communications Committee, the Breeze Editorial Board, and on Disaster Preparedness Task Force, where I'm also the Clubhouse 4 Disaster Coordinator. I continue to volunteer on Saturdays as supervisor at the Village Library, and I'm proud to be one of the volunteers who helped to keep the library materials available to all residents during the pandemic. I currently serve on the VMS board, finishing out the term of a reassigned director, which ends this fall. I believe I have demonstrated my long-term commitment to the governance of this village. I ask for your support in the opportunity to serve on GRF. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Skillman. Don Tibbetts, you're up.
Yes, I need to apologize before I start talking. I was not aware of this meeting. Well, Juanita called me a few nights ago and said there was going to be a meeting at 3 o'clock following a closed meeting, and I wasn't sure what it was for. In fact, she just explained it a few days ago. It makes sense, but I'm not aware of it. So let me tell you a little bit about myself. My wife and I moved here in 2000, and I've been on the board, United or NGR, since 2002, 20 years. And I've worked in almost all of the committees, and the reason why is I enjoy it. And I enjoy working with the other directors. Most of them, like you're a type A people, I enjoy that. So that's a personal gain. And also I think I can help the residents who live here. I've been on a lot of committees on United, and as I said, and GRF. I know what's going on, mostly except for this meeting. I apologize. I don't feel like I'm ready for this meeting, but that's all I want to comment on at this time.
Thank you, Mr. Tibbetts. Okay, now we finished the candidates' opening statements, and now candidate interviews. Each candidate will be given 1 to 2 minutes to answer questions from the board. I'm going to start on my left here with Director Maggie Blackwell.
All right, do I ask individually or do I just throw out a question?
Well, there's nothing here. Let's just throw out the question. Well, let's do it in order. Let's start out with Elsie Addington. You got a question for her.
All right, Elsie, what committees would you like to be on GRF, and why do you feel your presence on that committee?
Director Blackwell, please make sure that your mic is on.
Thank you.
I can't hear anybody.
Thank you. Elsie, which committees would you like to be on at GRF, and what experience do you have that you feel might be beneficial to GRF on that committee?
If I may interject before Elsie answers that question, President Liberatore, how much time would you like for each question for an answer?
How much time?
Yes, would you like
Just
1
make
or
it
2
2
minutes?
minutes.
2 minutes? 2 minutes?
Thank you, Director Blackwell. I would like to, because of my, on the Community Activities Committee, I've been on that for a couple of years, and I'd like to continue that participation. I get a lot out of that committee. I think it's very important. The Media and Communication Committee, likewise. Mobility and Vehicles, likewise. Traffic hearings, I really miss traffic hearings. I'd love to be back on traffic hearings. And that's it. I helped, I don't want to get into my presentation. That's it. I like the committees I've been serving on, and I'd like to continue them because I bring some 3 years and some 2 years experience to each committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Elsie Addington. Director Armandaris would give a question for Juanita Skillman, please.
Yes. Hi, Juanita. How are you today?
Thank you.
Yes, Juanita. You've served on United, and you've also served on GRF.
No,
Right
VMS.
now-
No, VMS.
Excuse me, VMS, not GRF.
Right.
Oh,
I've never been
VMS?
on
Okay, I
GRF.
thought you'd served on GRF too. No?
No.
Okay. Since this is your first year, then if you are elected, what do you think is the biggest problem that GRF is facing currently? And give us your opinion on, from your perspective and from the perspective of the members out there. And what are your suggestions for solving the concerns or problems that you think GRF is facing?
Juanita?
Thank you, Director Armandaris. I think that the most critical issue in GRF, as it is in all of the associations, is cooperation and unity. It's very important that we work together as a board in order to further the concerns of the community and our residents. We can't do that if we are split. And I don't mean just on the boards, I mean the boards themselves. So if we don't work together, very little's going to get done. Cooperation and unity, I think, are the main things. And I really, my bywords are all C. I think we need to work with cooperation, consideration of the needs and the facts to get to a consensus. And I don't think we're doing a very good job of that right now. So consideration, cooperation, commitment, and above all, we need common sense. Thank you.
Very good, Juanita. Thank you.
Thank you, Juanita. Director Pat English, do you have a question for Don Tibbetts?
Yes, I do. Don, I would like to know how you would go about taking care of the electronic vehicle plug-ins, considering that United is having a big trouble with it, and they're not too sure about putting them in the GRF places. What would you suggest on this?
Electronic, you're talking about the electric vehicles?
The charging, yeah, the
Yes.
chargers for them.
See, we talked about that first came up about 10 years ago because we knew it was going to go. And the biggest problem in United is that we don't have places to charge these cars. If we put them inside, as you have, inside the garages there, there's no place to hook them up unless you have a special kind as you have again. But most of these cars need battery power, and we looked at it about 6 years ago. It would cost us close to $3 million to build chargers that would be enough for the residents. And I'm hesitant on that.
Thank you, Don.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Don. Director Pearl Lee, do you have a question for Elsie Addington, please?
Yes, Elsie. I would like to know what area interests you the most among all the duties you'll be facing with GRF as a member of GRF.
Thank you, Director Lee. I love all my duties as assigned, but I would have to say my duties, continuing duties on the Media and Communication Committee, the GRF Committee, and also Community Activities
Nita.
Definitely. Thank you.
Okay, I'll call. Now,
Thank you.
I'm going to call on Director Azar. Do you have a question for Juanita Skillman? Azar, you're muted. Ascari, you're muted. Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you. My question is how you represent as the United to GRF when GRF is not agree with the decision that United taking. For example, we had some discussion regarding the finance. We suggested, but the GRF didn't agree with that. Are you going to support? That's what I wanted to know. What would be your position on that?
Thank you, Azar.
That's a very difficult question, Director Asghari. My responsibility would be to the GRF board. My concerns would be to look at all of the concerns, particularly for those of United. But I am not on the GRF board to parrot United. I am there to look at the community as a whole, what works best, because it's very different. The responsibilities of a GRF director as trustee of the trust is very different than that of United as the trustor of the trust. And I think we need to look at what each one is responsible for. GRF is not an HOA. It is not a housing unit. It is a CID, a community there. So I think there are things that go into every board decision. However, if I am a delegate director from United, I certainly would be going back to United and saying, what are your views on this or this or this? That doesn't mean I'm going to follow them every time, but I certainly am going to take into account what United feels.
Thank you, Juanita Skillman. Now, Director Bastani, do you have a question for Mr. Don Tibbetts?
Yes, Don, in your report, you said you were influential in changing DCM to self-management. Am I correct in that?
I didn't quite understand.
You were part of the transition team.
Part of the transition team?
Yeah. Are you happy with the present VMS performance?
I apologize, Risa.
Microphone on?
Yes, it's on.
Are you satisfied with VMS performance?
Am I satisfied with VMS performance?
Yes. Are you happy?
Yes, I'm satisfied. I haven't attended that many meetings of it, but I certainly hear about it, if that is a question.
Okay. All right.
You see, recently,
You asked your question, Don, you answered it. Now, Director Neda Ardani, do you have a question for Elsie Addington?
No, I don't have any.
Thank you, Neda. Andre Torn, do you have a question for Juanita Skillman?
Yes. Basically, I heard everybody's talking about the principles. I like it very much. I think everybody's having set up the right principles.
Is there a question coming here?
Yes. What I would like to hear is that, can you give a specific example? You talk about the cooperation. Can you give us a specific example that you think that the cooperation will improve?
Director Torn, is that a question?
relationships? That's what I just asked. Can you give us a specific example that you think will improve the cooperation among between the HOAs and the CIDs? That was my question.
All right.
Any specific example that you can give us?
All right, we are a community. We are not individual parts. We all have things that are just for our particular association, but we are a community, and there are things that we need to look at as a community. The one that comes to mind right now is the solid waste or trash problem. It's going to be a huge financial burden to the community, to all of the associations. And it's something that we need to work together on to be able to satisfy not only the state law, but our residents. It's not going to be easy. SB 1383 is very complicated and very difficult. So we have to work together, and that means that we can't just be united. We can't just be third. We can't just be GRF. We have to be Laguna Woods Village as a community.
May I ask a follow-up question? What is the cooperation that you're expecting?
Director Aquacard, do you have a question for Don Tibbetts?
President Liberatore, can you please repeat?
Huh?
Can you please repeat?
Cash Aquacard, do you have a question for Don Tibbetts?
Right now, no. I will hold my questions till later. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Aquacard. All right, now, we had a round of questions. It's starting to get some time here. So we're going to move on to candidates' closing statements, and we'll start with Director Elsie Addington, retired Director Elsie Addington. You're on. 2 minutes.
I have to look at my notes. I'm old. If I am elected to represent United at GRF, I hope to foster, and I swear I didn't set this up with Juanita ahead of time, I hope to help foster better relationships amongst the leadership factions in the village. We are all part of one community, and it's a lovely place to live. There is strength in unity. There is little or no room for friction and disharmony. Cooperation and teamwork get much better results, and they're more fun. That's my statement. And I didn't set it up with Juanita.
Thank you. Juanita Skillman, Director Skillman, you're on for your final statement. 2 minutes.
It's nice when like minds think alike, and I hope there'll be more of that with all of the directors on the board. Board service to me is not a job that I have to get to. It's a job that I enjoy and that I want to get to. That's why I spend so much of my time on the governance of this community, and it will continue if I get on the GRF board. I attend all meetings, whether virtually or in person, and I think it's important that we have in-person meetings. I am against all of the hybrid meetings if it includes directors. Directors need to be in the same room where they can see each other, raise their hands, be recognized, etc. If we want to have the Zoom, which is great for our residents, but I think it's an obligation of ourselves as directors to be here and to work with each other. I think that, again, consideration of the issues, consideration of our residents, consideration of what the outcome and issue would be, cooperation between all of us is vital. We need to work towards consensus rather than each one doing our own thing. We need to have commitment and common sense, and that's what I think I would bring to GRF. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Skillman. Don Tibbetts, final statement.
Again, I apologize. I really feel unprepared for this because as I said earlier, I didn't have time to put it on because I just heard about it. But I do appreciate the opportunity to sit here. I know most of you. I've worked with you. Manuel, I've met. and Maggie was on GRF, and Pat's my neighbor, lives right behind me. So I really respect all of you people, and I appreciate the opportunity to speak with you. As I said earlier, I have the experience. I've worked on GRF for a total of 2 terms, about 12 years, and United about 8 years. So I know what's going on, and I have the experience. If you decide you'd want to use me, I'm available. Thank you.
Thank you, Don. Now, item number 8. I'd like to hear a motion to commence balloting. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Director Armendariz has made a motion to commence balloting. Do I have a second? Pat English is the second. All right, let's commence balloting, please.
For those,
May I ask you a question? May I ask
This
a
is
question?
not, we're commencing balloting. This is not a time for questions. You're out of order, sorry.
for those on Zoom,
I don't know what I'm voting for.
Well, that's not our
Are we
problem.
voting for observer?
That's not our problem.
Yes.
You just
Are we
heard, you
voting
just
for-
heard the 3 candidates give their statement. That's who you're voting for. Now, don't be so disruptive.
Are we voting for? Are we voting for candidate to represent us, or are we voting for observer?
What, haven't you been paying attention? Go ahead. Director Armendariz.
I guess not.
You have the floor.
Excuse me, Andre. I'm going to give you an answer. The purpose of this balloting is to elect a representative GRF that will automatically be a director of GRF. We're also going to be voting on the directors after this. This is called a delegate director. So he's automatically on the GRF board. That's what you're voting on. It's that simple. So all we need from you now is to zip the lip and vote. Thank you.
Okay, Grant, let's go with the balloting now.
for
I
procedures,
am looking at the GIF bylaw. I don't see that provision there.
Mute Director Torn. We got to get on here. We'll be here all night listening to him.
for balloting procedures, for those who are in Zoom, please submit your vote to me via the chat box. You can find that by going into the chat section and then selecting conference organizer. You may then send your vote to me.
Can we have hard copies?
For those who are in the boardroom, we will pass out hard copy ballots.
Thank you, Grant.
I have a question.
All right, Cash,
Cannot
what's your
switch.
question?
I cannot switch from everyone to just the conference organizer.
I didn't pick that up. Say it again, please.
I cannot switch the everyone to conference organizer. So I don't mind my vote being public. I can vote that way if there's no other way.
Okay, or you call in, right?
Director Akrakar, if you would like, so you're having troubles seeing the conference organizer on the Zoom chat?
Yeah, because I cannot switch the everyone to just the organizer.
So if you see,
I'm on the Zoom.
if you're on the chat and you see there is a, there should be something that says everyone and then there's a caret. You want to click on that caret.
No,
There's only one person we can vote
no, there is
for.
no caret. I'm seeing from me to, and then everyone in blue with an underline. I cannot switch from one to the other.
Right. So if you click on that caret, there should be a drop-down menu that appears, and then you may scroll down to conference organizer.
He's got the patience of Job.
I can't. It's not coming, but that's fine.
If you would like, you may also send it through email if that works better for you.
Email to you?
To myself, that's correct.
Okay, that will be grand. Let me see if I can do that. Yeah, I think I can send you a message directly to you, Grant.
Thank you.
Grant, just give me a holler when you're ready.
That sounds good. We are still
Okay.
seeing
Grant, I
one.
sent you an email.
I have received it. Thank you.
Thank you.
President Liberatore, I have the results when you're ready.
Thank you, Grant. I need a motion from the floor to cease balloting. Do I have a motion?
I move to cease balloting.
I'll second that motion.
So we have Director Blackwell made the motion and Director Armendariz seconded the motion. Ballots ceasing. And so tabulation of ballots. Grant, can you give us the tabulation, please?
President Liberatore, the results are there are 7 votes for Don Tibbetts, 1 vote for Elsie Addington, and 2 votes for Juanita Skillman.
All right, so I heard you right. There's 7 votes for Don Tibbetts, 1 for Elsie, and what's the other one? How many did Juanita get?
Juanita received 2 votes.
Okay, so congratulations, Don Tibbetts.
Congratulations, Don.
Okay, now let's move on to item number 11. Director's comments.
Can I go first? I gotta go to the boys' room.
Yeah, go ahead. Director Armendariz will lead off.
Thank you, Anthony. The only comment I want to make is that I totally agree with Juanita, that I think it makes sense to go back to board meetings the way we used to have them in person. They're much more effective. They're much more efficient. And I think it places more responsibility on the director to do his job, to be prepared to come to these meetings and perform, rather than just sitting at home, tagging into the meeting or disrupting the meeting. So that's my comment. Thank you for bringing that up, Juanita.
Thank you, Director.
And can I say something?
We'll get to you. I'm going to go around the horn here first, then we'll get to the call-ins. Director Blackwell.
Thank you. Congratulations to all. And I know, Don, I've seen you be a board member since I came here in 2004. I mean, you were a board member in 2012 when I first drew attention. And so I've seen your action. I know you know how to run meetings. You're well organized and you're prepared, as are these 3. So I congratulate you, Don, and welcome to GRF.
Thank you, Maggie Blackwell. Director English.
Would you
Yes,
please?
Don, I congratulate you, and I'm very pleased that you won. But I'm very concerned about something. Don said he hadn't seen what he was supposed to do until yesterday, and I was exactly the same. In fact, I had a ballot that had 5 names on it, and I picked 3 and put it in the box, and then now we're just voting on 1.
That's for the next meeting. You looked at the wrong document. That's for the next meeting.
That's a different meeting. All right, so that makes sense now. Thank you.
All right, Pat. Director Pearl Lee.
Well, congratulations, Don. We're looking forward to see you around and work together in some times. But I also cannot agree more with Director Armendariz and Juanita Stillman about having a meeting in person. I think that we can be a lot more efficient, and also it would be more fun and also easy to understand. I think we need to have a good relationship with other directors, and it will make it easier and smoother for us to perform as a board. And I'm looking forward to that day. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Lee. Director Azar, do you have, it's director's comments. Do you have something to offer?
Yes, thank you so much, first of all, Tony, for chairing very nicely and smoothly this one. And I hope everybody respects and not want to chair for you. And second, I felt some insulting from some of these directors that they said they want people being the board because if they are online, they are disturbing and they are not doing their job. As a finance chair, every month, 250 pages I am reading. This is not a joke. So I am doing my thing and I am online. online is the way to go, and it doesn't mean that we should go there for fun. We have a fiduciary duty, and we have a responsibility to do job. I can say whatever I wanted and what is in my mind under this microphone. Please watch what you are saying and don't insult other people. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Director Ascari. Director Bastani. Directors, your comments, please.
Yes, I also want to congratulate Don, and I want him to consider the issue of revising this VMS agreement. And he has, although he said he's been in favor of it, but this agreement has proven to be useless, and it needs to be revision. And I hope that he thinks about it again and looks about it and supports the revising it so that everybody benefits. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Bastani. Director Ardoni. Do you have a comment?
Just I wanted to say congrats to Don. Yes, I just want to say congrats to Don.
Thank you, Director Ardani. Director Torn.
Congratulations to Don, and you have a lot of experience from United and also from GRF. So we're looking forward to your working with us and help us work with the GRF and make it the best for us. Thank you very much. Congratulations again.
Okay, and my congratulations also to Don Tibbetts. I served with him on my first tour when United. And now, since the agenda has been exhausted, I can adjourn the meeting. Thank you.
You didn't
Oh,
ask
I'm
about
sorry.
the premium cash.
Cash, what do you have?
Thank you. I just want to congratulate Don. And I think we are going to be a good coalesced board henceforth. Let's hope we accomplish something for everybody, not just our group, but for the whole village. And Juanita is absolutely right. Unity and conformity is important. Thank you.
I apologize, Cash. My mistake. If there's no other
No
business,
problem.
we have exhausted the agenda, so the meeting can be adjourned by the chair. Thank you.